My good friend and fellow chef, Vivian Howard, is visiting me all the way from North Carolina.
Pati.
Viviana.
We're exploring our different cultures by sharing some of the foods we love.
Oh,
Should I say
you
that pretty
are
one?
giving me the pretty one?
I am.
I'm making two Mexican classics, pierna de cerdo adobada or adobo pork roast, and a tres leches with a crazy twist.
It's a cuatro leches cake.
Oh.
And Vivian is rounding out her meal with 3 southern staples.
I love these.
Turnip greens with country sausage, Texas caviar, which is a lot like pico de gallo, and traditional hoecakes.
I am loving all the names for all the things we're eating.
And we're combining these different dishes to make one multicultural masterpiece.
How surprised are you? Super surprised!
Sorry.
Dame tu chocolate, dame café caliente, dame tu corazón.
Pati.
Aw, so what do people call you usually?
Vivian or Viv or
Yeah.
Big V. Yeah.
You know, I think I've been calling you Viviana, like in our texts for the last
Yes,
year.
and I just love to hear you talk. It takes me a minute, though, to adjust to your accent,
It takes me nothing to adjust to yours.
because I'm slow.
We're making a pierna de cerdo or a pork butt. So I think that your region in Mexico have a deep love of pork.
Yes.
Yes. So what we do is we marinate a big pork shoulder in an adobo.
Oh, good.
Seen a
You know,
pork
I've
adobo.
always seen the word adobo,
Adobo.
but I've never known, like, really what it was.
In an adobo, we'll have dried chiles and onion, garlic, some spices. But what defines an adobo and distinguishes it from anything else is it has vinegar or acid.
Okay.
So if you want to help me quarter
Yes.
a white onion, 2 ripe tomatoes, 6 garlic cloves, and they're unpeeled. We're gonna roast these, and then we're gonna rehydrate some chiles.
Oh, good.
Yes. Do you
always-
use dried chiles?
No, but I have an extreme interest.
Yes.
So,
We have the ancho chiles, and we have the guajillo. It's like a happy chile.
It's like
a
fruity.
pleasing chile. It's fruity. And the ancho is like plum, prune, bittersweet, chocolatey. Now, many people will toast the chiles to like wake them up. You could skip the part of toasting and go to rehydrating just with water. But if you toast them, you do add like an extra layer of flavor, which why not? So we add the chiles in here. So now I'm gonna cover these with water and we're gonna cook it.
Rehydrate.
And this is what all Mexicans do.
Okay.
Like after you roast or you boil, you just put the whole thing in the blender.
Skin and all.
Everything, because see like how juicy and mushy?
And mushy, super mushy.
Super mushy. I'm gonna have an apron that says super mushy.
No.
Because then I'd be mushy. I'm not mushy.
No, you're not mushy.
No. No. We're adding the onions, the garlic cloves that we're just peeling. And then everything for the adobo is gonna go in here. So we're gonna put this aside. This is
Okay.
ready. You know what we have here.
I know what we have here. We have pork butt, but the funny thing is that they call it butt, but it's the shoulder.
Yes.
And where I come from, we call it Boston butt,
Okay.
which I'm not sure why.
And then see how the chile is rehydrated?
Oh yeah, really fast.
Yes, super fast. So all these techniques are really not demanding at all and fast.
I'm gonna let those cool a bit and add a cup of orange juice to our roasted vegetables.
So I'm adding a couple tablespoons of vinegar, a half a teaspoon of marjoram, thyme, and oregano. Here we have 2 tablespoons of brown sugar.
I'll add the rehydrated chiles and about a cup of the liquid.
So now we're gonna puree these here
How long?
until it's pureed. Let me see. How do you describe the smell? I need your English, Viviana.
I just know why you invited me here.
Yeah, I need new words.
So I think this has a lot of depth, and I mean, you can smell the acid and the chilies and the tomato.
Yeah.
I didn't help you there.
No.
Am I going over or just around?
Over and under and around and oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm adding a couple of bay leaves. See? It's gonna be there for 3 hours. It's at 300 covered.
Okay.
See? Tres leches.
Oh, I love tres leches.
I know you do.
I do.
Help me crack some eggs,
Okay.
and I'll tell you about it. So if you want, we'll put the whites here and the yolks here.
Okay.
Tres leches is not a cake. Tres leches is a lifestyle.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm kidding. It just sounded like a commercial. No. Like, tres leches in Mexico, it's such a huge thing.
It's a huge thing.
I mean,
it's
tres
like
leches...
the country's dessert. It's like our
Thing.
apple pie.
Yes. But Mexicans don't make tres leches at home, even though it's ridiculously easy, because you can find it in every corner.
So for the people that are watching this that don't know any Spanish, it means 3 milk.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. So
That's my Spanish coming out right there.
Yeah. How did you say tres leches? Say it
Tres
again.
leches.
Indulge me.
I just said it. You didn't even understand me.
I didn't hear you. So you're gonna beat these just until they hold soft peaks.
Okay.
And once they hold soft peaks, we're gonna add a cup of sugar. Okay, so here we have the 8 egg yolks that you cracked, and then I have a half a cup of oil, a 1/4 cup of milk, and a teaspoon of vanilla. That's perfect. I have 2 cups of flour, just all-purpose flour. So a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a pinch of salt. And then we're going to alternate,
Okay.
mixing in there or in here. So let's add some of that
Into
in
here? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, see how beautiful?
Let's put them all,
In here. Yes. And I like desserts that are very messy. My hands are kind of sloppy and have always been very sloppy, so I need to make sloppy desserts.
You just move fast, Pati.
No, I'm just sloppy. So then what we're gonna do is, if you help me pour half and half.
Okay.
I love the sound. Did you hear the sound?
Plop.
Yeah, wait, can you do it here?
I mean, I don't know. It was
Yeah, you can.
Okay, pressure.
Oh, that was
It did,
lovely.
it did. I might be able to get another one. No. Too much of a good thing.
Yeah. Okay, then I'm gonna spread it a little. I have the oven at 350, and these are gonna bake for like 22 minutes.
Oh,
So, you can make a tres leches with any kind of fruit.
okay.
But since we have plums and apricots in my garden, we're gonna make it with plums and apricots.
Because I'm here.
See? You don't have to be precious, that's what I love about a tres leches cake. Like, you don't have to peel the fruit and dice it and make it all beautiful. You just want the big chunks in there. Okay, so we have enough. Okay, beautiful.
That looks great. Is that one done?
It could take another minute. So this is perfection. And then just poke it. And then let's make our 3 milk sauce.
It smells so good.
It does smell really, and you saw how airy it is? Well, you'll see when we cut into it. But so we have milk and we have evaporated milk. We're just gonna pour it here.
So evaporated milk is kind of sweet, no?
It's a little sweet. It's sweeter than whole milk, And then sweetened condensed milk is the same thing, but with a ton of added sugar. Okay, so if you help me mix that, and I'm gonna take the other cake out. Have you tasted cajeta?
What is that?
So it's Mexico's dulce de leche.
Because it's made with goat's milk.
See? You knew that.
I did.
So you've eaten it before?
Well, there's I have a mild obsession with dulce de leche, so I know its forms.
Yeah. Can you tell
It
the
is better.
difference? I mean, isn't it?
Because goat's milk has more nuance.
Exactly. And because I wanted to do a new cake for you. It's not a tres leches, it's a cuatro leches cake.
Oh.
Because that's our fourth milk.
Wow, okay. You
So-
surprised me.
How surprised are you? Super surprised!
Yes, right.
So we're just gonna pour this whole thing here. And then this is gonna be like the middle layer. You can pour it then.
Okay.
So you can do half. It's gonna be a mess anyway, which is good.
This is good.
So then we're gonna do the fruit. And these look so beautiful already, no? Let me bring the other cake.
Hermosa.
That's beautiful!
I rolled my R.
And now we poke.
This is really easy.
So easy. And it looks, you know,
It looks like a homemade dessert.
not gorgeous, but it doesn't matter
It doesn't
because
matter.
we're gonna cover it with heavy whipped cream. This is Mexican canela or the Ceylon cinnamon.
Okay, so we're gonna start by making some turnip greens. People think of the South as a place where everybody eats collard greens, right?
Yes.
But really, like, you either grow up in a collard eating house or a turnip eating house.
Oh, and these are?
These are turnip greens. But,
Okay.
So these are called Hakurei turnips or Tokyo turnips.
Okay.
These are sweet. You can eat them raw, you can shave them.
They look a little bit like radishes. Do they
Yes.
have anything?
No, they're turnips, and you'll see that, like, raw,
Yeah.
they're kind of like an apple, you see how nice that is? And they're very tender and fresh, so
I love these.
if you can
Yes.
separate the greens from the roots.
And you eat the whole thing? Like you eat both things?
Yeah, we're gonna cook them together and then just quarter these.
Okay.
And so this is air-dried country-style sausage. In Eastern North Carolina, where I'm from, our seasoning meat is this air-dried country-style sausage. So when I say seasoning meat, I mean the way that we season our vegetables and the way that we cook our greens.
Is with sausage.
With sausage. So it's a little richer than typical link sausage. So it's
But
not-
then is this a raw sausage that you still have to cook?
you still have to cook
You
it.
can't like slice it and chew on it as if it were salami.
No, I'm not going to recommend that. No.
Nobody does that.
No. I mean, this reminds me of my childhood.
Yeah.
And so it touches my soul, my sausage soul.
Yeah.
Because these are so tender and they won't need to cook as long, we're gonna render the sausage and then add them and add a little water.
What goes in the sausage? It's
So
different
it's-
kinds of.
So sage and ginger, chili flakes, black pepper, very simple, and thyme. T-H-Y-M-E and T-I-M-E.
Yeah, you got me.
So add the roots to this pan. I'm gonna add some black pepper,
Yeah.
and then we can go ahead and put our greens in
The
there.
whole thing.
We're gonna add some water just to cover it.
And is these typically a side dish, or is it how would you eat it?
Great question, Patty.
Oh,
so,
yes.
so, like today, we eat it as a side dish. But where I come from, I call the food that we cook food of the frugal farmer. It's an agriculture region, and it's really about waste not, want not. So back in the day, a pot of greens with a little bit of sausage in it would have been the centerpiece of your meal. So we'll just let that hang out for like 15 minutes. So now we're going to make something called Texas caviar.
Okay.
It's not like related to fish at all, but I think that the name caviar comes from the fact that the meat of it are field peas.
Okay.
Okay, so field peas are really important in my culture. So these are black-eyed peas. We eat them a lot with rice, and it would be like your beans and rice, you know, a perfect protein. So the reason I wanted to make this today is because we're trying to find these like synergies between your food and my food, and this is kind of like salsa, something to balance.
Like a pico de gallo, kind of.
Yeah, like something to kind of balance the richness of that and this.
Okay.
So if you will slice
See?
these scallions, just,
And you use the green and the white.
yes, just slice them up thin.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be perfect
Okay.
because it doesn't.
Good.
And then I'm going to take these guys, and they've been cooked. So these are like pickled tomatoes.
And then the brine has what?
It has
Vinegar?
lemon juice,
Uh-huh.
vinegar, jalapenos, horseradish. I have oregano and flat leaf parsley here. So we'll just tear that up and put it in there.
Would you add a little bit more? Would you add like more jalapeno? Your tomatoes have jalapeno.
They do,
in
but if
them.
you want it to be spicier, you absolutely
Have
can.
you used serrano chile?
I have. Do you
Yeah,
have
do
some?
you like? I
Let's
think
put
I
it
may.
in there.
I may. I love serranos.
Why?
First of all, because they have the double R. So I love how it sounds. Serrano, but also because they're just feistier, stronger, and more intense than a jalapeno.
So I'm gonna put a little olive oil on here just
Okay.
to kind of silk it up.
That looks so pretty. Okay, let me taste.
And you could use like celery if you want like more texture.
You have to taste with the serrano. It's so delicious. It is hot.
That is good. It is hot.
And I love the taste of parsley in there.
Parsley is so
It shines.
underrated.
I agree.
We're gonna make something that we call hoecakes or Johnny cakes. That name comes from the fact that people used to heat up a hoe
What's a
in a
hoe?
fire, like, you know, like
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
they would heat that up in a fire and then cook cornbread on the metal plate of the hoe.
Oh.
So super rustic.
I am loving all the names for all the things we're eating.
Will you hand me this cornmeal over here?
Yes.
So I wanted to do this because tortillas are such a big part of your culture.
Yes.
And cornbread is like the cornerstone of my culture. And we have two types of cornmeal.
Okay.
White cornmeal, and you see how fine it is?
Yeah.
And then yellow cornmeal. And depending on where you come from in the South, you prefer one or the other. And where I come from, they say that the yellow cornmeal is to feed the animals.
Okay.
And so my mother would never have eaten yellow cornmeal.
And which are we gonna use? Or are we gonna
We're gonna
both?
use the white cornmeal.
Okay.
Quarter that onion. Buttermilk,
Oh, yum.
which is a hugely important ingredient for us. And then a little bit of water.
So it's buttermilk, water, onion.
Yes. And a lot of people would just use, you can just add water to this cornmeal and a little salt.
But you're flavoring it.
Yes. Pour that in there.
Okay.
And we can be like cavalier about it because if we have too much liquid, we can add more cornmeal.
Yeah. And what consistency are you looking for?
So we're looking for like thin pancake batter.
Okay.
And that's really only because, keep going. That's really only because we're gonna make a, you know, we wanna make a very flat cornbread. And so I've been preheating this cast iron skillet, and this cast iron skillet is kind of like your
comal.
Comal.
Yeah.
In that, you know, it takes on the character of the cook. And we call it's seasoned.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got some vegetable oil
Yes,
and
and
some butter in here.
So these are gonna be flat?
These are gonna be flat. And you want them to spread out kind of like a pancake. And you know, much like a pancake, the first batch doesn't always turn out.
Right.
So don't judge me.
No, never. So you have the heat, it's like medium
It's
low.
like medium low. You don't want to cook it too fast because you don't want the interior to be raw. Okay, so we're gonna try and churn this one. Oh yeah.
That's beautiful. It looks beautiful.
Oh yes.
And that smells really good.
Yes, and I'm gonna like chop it up a little bit with my spatula.
Okay, so I'm just gonna cut these. Ah,
That
these
looks
look so good. And then see the adobo, how beautiful it is.
I thought you got that out for me. I was like, oh.
You know what? I did. But then I couldn't help myself.
And you went ahead, yes. And do I do another little swipe through the?
Yes.
Okay.
Look at that part.
That was perfect.
So
Awesome.
good. You know what? I'm just gonna put these back in here. Yes.
And mix it in there.
Yeah, in the sauce.
Yes.
Oh,
Should I save
you
that pretty
are
one?
giving me the pretty one?
I am. Because I want you to have a good experience.
She's giving me the prettiest one, and I ate the first lovely
I
piece of
know.
meat. Okay, I'm giving you the nicer ones, okay?
Oh, thank you.
This is looking so beautiful already.
All right. That's good. You're making me blush with your noises, Patty. The synergy here is just so interesting. We have the corn, the pork, which, you know, is like our barbecue, is like your adobo, and then the black-eyed pea caviar, which is kind of like a pico de gallo.
Like, I thought that by cooking together, when we did this, I was gonna say, you know, it tastes like home, but it doesn't.
No.
It tastes completely different, and I absolutely love it, because you're just opening like a super new window to me.
Well, you do the same thing for me.
It's amazing.
Yay! This is really why I came.
Yes? Okay, where do you want me to cut?
I want the best part.
That would be the middle.
Okay, I don't have to have it then.
I will get the middle for
No,
you.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
I will get the
No,
middle
just-
for you. Oh, no. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I never let my kids do this, ever.
Well, don't. I think Alan's over there.
I hope they're not watching.
Oh, wow. Saucy. Oh, my.
Oh, this is so beautiful. Tres leches.
Cuatro
Sí,
You say it.
you say it.
Cuatro leches.
Muy bien. Sí.
Oh, wow. That is great.
And the more it soaks,
It's going to be like a pudding almost.
it's really hard to find a really good friend that's also a peer that's in the same
World.
world with you, you know? And I feel like we share the same struggles, the same challenges, and we're very similar, yet we live in such different culinary worlds, and it is really a treat to make them collide in the kitchen. And You're a person that inspires, and I love having you in my kitchen.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very grateful for you.
And thank you so much for trekking all
thank
the way
you.
up here. Such a treat.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you.